Hey everyone, my name's Nick, and if you're new here, I make videos about software engineering, career advice, solopreneurship, and really, I'll probably make some videos about AI. I have a newsletter. There are 28,000 people on that list. Make sure you subscribe if you just want to hear about those types of topics. So today I'll be talking about how I used to be a Flutter engineer, and how that kind of indirectly led me into a big tech company. In my case, it was Google, working there for 3 years as a manager, a tech lead, and doing IC work as well. And I'm just going to give you some anecdotes, and I'll leave you with that. It's just a very kind of like I'm just going to riff and just give you whatever advice I can. If you want to hear more, just email me or just drop a comment in the video below. So basically, I just want to say that the first piece of advice I have is be a bit naive about your goals. You need some naivete. If you don't have that, you're just going to shy away from anything you want to do in life. So for example, with a big tech company like Google, there's a 0.2 to 0.5% chance you're going to get in if you apply. That's just a statistical fact. Some say it's easy. It's harder than getting into Harvard, which has a 3 to 5% acceptance rate. So it doesn't matter. Just go and try. And for me, the process of trying, I learned a huge amount, right? I applied to many different tech companies, and I got a lot of no's from them, and I learned a lot. I learned about in depth more about system design, how to interview, how to present yourself, how to do coding exercises, and all that. So it's a great process. Now, I will say a big tech company is not for everyone. It is absolutely something that you won't understand if you haven't worked at a big company. Once you do, you'll realize maybe this is not for me. In my case, I got a lot out of it. It was not easy at all. But after a while, I realized I think to be able to work at a very big company for 10 years, 20 years, you just have to be a certain type of person or be in a certain type of situation where you like that, or you want to stay there. So just don't get obsessed with these big companies, and I just want to caveat with that. So where does Flutter fit in here? It wasn't like I wrote some magical Flutter code and this company's like, oh wow, we have to hire this person. It's really what I did around the community with Flutter, and the other things I did that is not Flutter related that really helped me a lot. So just a bit about my background. I'll just start from some step one, right? A bit about my educational background, and I'll go chronologically. I didn't own a computer at 13. So even at 13, I would get a magazine subscription, this technical magazine, and it would have a game in the basic programming language in the back of it. And I literally, with a pen and paper, would copy down that game. And that game was meant for people to literally type in the code manually to your computer and compile it and run an actual game. And for me, I just loved how the code looked, and I loved copying it down. So I knew it was for me. So if you find there's some symbol of something that represents that you might like something a lot, just dive into that and really kind of pick up on that, right? It doesn't have to be technical in nature. Just if you really like something, sense that and kind of go for it, right? So for me, I did take programming courses in high school and college, but I just got a degree in political science. I did some years of computer science, but I have a degree in political science. I transferred there because I was just working so much. I didn't have time to finish my comp sci degree. I wanted to do something that was interesting to me, that was not computers. So I did a lot of internships, and I worked through college. And those internships and work experience really kind of set me apart. But I didn't go to an Ivy League college. I just went to a state school. I didn't have an amazing grades, right? I just really loved what I did. And if you're into programming and you just don't really like it, you can't sit there for hours and hours a day, like honed in on something like that. I don't know. It's just harder to have a decent, somewhat decent career if you don't have that level of interest, right? So out of college, I started some meetups eventually, a graph database meetup. I started NYC Golang for the Go programming language. It was like the largest Go meetup at the time. And it was really fun. And I started meeting people from Google. I would go to some mobile development meetups for Android, and I just started getting to know people, and I started writing, and I wanted to stand out. So, for example, one time they were doing some presentation about Flutter, and one of the directors at Google was talking about the community, and they were talking about one of my blog posts, and I was like totally taken aback and surprised. So, I would say, writing and getting, networking with people, writing and building things that people value is extremely important. If it's building like a meetup group and it's connecting with people, that's also incredibly important. You want to, this day and age especially, like make sure you kind of stand out as much as you can. And if you enjoy building products, build things that solve a problem for you, like co-found startups, like give it a try, do something entrepreneurial, right? So after that, I founded fluttercrashcourse.com, I liked teaching Flutter, and it was a site that had videos on how to learn Flutter. And I did make passive income from there, like some money, for selling like advanced courses to people. But I found a lot of value in that. And it was a 0 to 1 product where I took something from nothing and I learned marketing and sales and all that. So that helped me to a good degree when I was interviewing at Google for like a manager role. And especially a role where it took a lot of, that type of experience was very valued. So knowing about product and marketing and go-to-market and all that. In the past, I'll just rewind a bit, like in college and high school, I did have like common jobs, right? And honestly, that was one of the most critical aspects of my career as well, that led up to me getting that type of role, right? Later in life, because I had, for example, two the anecdotes. One, I learned the value of like, oh crap, like I really need a somewhat decent career that I like, because I realized this when I first had a job as I was working on a farm at 15, and I lasted for 2 days. I was picking cucumbers, and it was horrible. It was absolutely, this was like something that realization was like, I cannot have like very common jobs like this. I also was in a knife salesman. So I would go to people's houses and pitch them on why they should buy a knife set. And this was only for like a month, but I came away with it. We were like having an amazing experience as in sales. It was so critical for my career as well. I was a lab monitor, so I got paid to just do nothing and learn programming, and I really didn't have to do anything for the job. That was cool. I was a sysadmin. I was a Unix, and then one time Windows like sysadmin, and that was incredible because I got to learn a lot about networking and managing computer labs and all that. So I feel like if you get a job in just a common job, try to get something that you can get out of it, like that helps your career in some way. It doesn't have to be in coding or software engineering. If you have a hard time finding a job in software engineering, try to find something that you can either like learn on the job and have a lot of free time, or something that's like giving you another skill, basically. So let's see if I want to talk about anything else. I think generally, again, network with people, like form connections with people. So, and you'll create your own luck. So for example, I was a .NET engineer in college. I was putting myself through school, and I had a manager. That was my first manager in my career. And hilariously, like 20 years later, he was working at Google as well, and he just gave me a referral because I just happened to be applying, and it was a total luck, but it helped a lot. In terms of like getting a role at a big tech company, I'm not going to talk about how I did that per se, because there's a lot of content already out there about that. But I will say the process of interviewing at larger companies was fun for me. I do like interviewing, and it was just kind of like a game, because I would prepare and I would get, it took a long time and a lot of denials from many different companies. And it was though fun, because I get to learn about many, many different topics. So if that's something that you're going to get at benefit your career by just practicing for that stuff, like go for it also, right? Generally, like working at a lot of startups and co-founding products helped me the most in general. And I think that there's a lot of things you can do to help your career. It's just that you just have to find what you really enjoy doing. And that's kind of like it took me well into my 20s to really know like what type of tech career I wanted. So now I'm doing solopreneurship. I'm doing whatever the heck I want to on a daily basis, 8 hours a day or easily more. For example, a few days ago, I worked like a 12-hour day, and it was a Sunday. And I'm here living in Europe with my wife and 2 kids, and they're learning French as well as me. And so now I have yet another challenge of learning a new language from absolute zero and having fun doing that, because I just like doing that. So if you found this content useful, or if you want to learn anything else in terms of the topics I've talked about or anything, just again, reach out. Make sure you subscribe to my newsletter if you want to. Yeah, I'll be talking more about solopreneurship as well. And yeah, creating more videos way more often. So hope everyone found this useful, and talk to y'all later. Bye.